Starting off our list in the number 10 spot is Cameron Diaz and Benji Madden. A lot of people didn't even know when they started dating back in 2013. They are a very low-key couple. When I say low-key, I mean low-key, to a point where they had a private wedding in their own home. We don't really know much about their relationship when you compare it to all the other couples in Hollywood who have their whole relationship pretty much out on the line. They started dating in May 2013 and got married on January 5th, 2015. They had an intimate ceremony at their home in Beverly Hills with only close friends and family. At this time of recording, they have been married now and they seem to be happier than ever. When speaking on her marriage, Cameron opened up to E! News about the relationship and said, "I have a husband who is just a partner in life and in everything. Talk about two very different people. We are so different from one another, but we share the same values. We're totally two peas in a pod. We are both just weird enough for each other." No baby news from the couple yet, only multiple rumors online about her being pregnant apparently back in 2018 and then them adopting a baby boy back in 2015. Neither of those were actually true though. Next up at number 9 is Mario Lopez and Ali Landry. You probably didn't know about their marriage because their romance was very short-lived. The two Saved by the Bell lovers dated for 6 years and then tied the knot back in April 2004, but they were only married for 2 weeks. Yes, you heard me, 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks after the wedding, they annulled when they returned home from their honeymoon. Turns out Mario had cheated on her days before the wedding during his wild bachelor party in Mexico. Ouch. That's why you don't do bachelor parties. If that didn't hurt enough, later down the road he admitted that he wasn't in love with her but married her anyways. The actor wrote a memoir called Just Between Us where he explained his side of the story. He said, "I never addressed certain relationships, especially the truth and the handling of what happened in my first marriage. I got inebriated and a little too friendly with a young lady. When it was time to return home, lightning hit me with the truth. I wasn't in love, but I walked down the aisle anyways." If that isn't a punch to the gut, I don't know what is. He is now married to Courtney Mazza and they have 3 beautiful children together. Coming in at number 8 is Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling. Married? When did they even start dating? I literally had no idea. Turns out the two of them met on the set of The Place Beyond the Pines back in 2011 and have been together for 8 years now. In September 2014, Eva gave birth to their first child, a daughter named Esmeralda. Only 2 years later, in April 2016, the couple had another little girl named Amada. I think that's how you say it. It was 8 months after they started to make headlines for getting married. However, no one knew if it was actually real or not. Reps refused to comment or denied it altogether, and to this day fans are still asking if they are actually legally married or not. They are practically married no matter what, even if it's not legal on paper, which we cannot technically confirm nor deny. All I know is that they are adorable, they are goals, their kids are perfect, and I'm pretty much jealous. And also a little bit mad because I was under the impression Ryan Gosling was single and that I still had a chance. And at number 7 is Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. Guys, I literally feel like I got punked with this one. I didn't even know they were a couple. Like ever. Like I don't know where I was when all of this happened. The two of them first met on set back in 2007 when they starred in the comedy Take Me Home Tonight. Chris says that he knew she was the one immediately, but she was married to another actor at the time. Yeah, that's kind of a little roadblock there. It was shortly after the movie ended that Anna split from her ex-husband and got officially divorced in 2008. She moved on pretty quickly though, apparently, because later that same year, she got engaged to Chris, and then they tied the knot on July 9th, 2009. They were what seemed to be happily married for a few years before announcing in May 2012 that they were expecting their first child together. In 2015, rumors started flying that Chris wasn't being faithful, and for a few years there were headlines saying the relationship had a strain. It was on August 7th, 2017 that the two of them announced their separation on social media. They shared the same statement which read, I quote, "We are sad to announce we are legally separating. We tried hard for a long time and we're really disappointed. Our son has 2 parents who love him very much, and for his sake we want to keep this situation as private as possible moving forward. We still love each other and will always cherish our time together." The two of them have moved on, but they still remain as friends and co-parent with each other. This one has a happy ending. Swiping the number 6 spot is Isla Fisher and Sacha Baron Cohen. Wait, Borat has a wife? And it's Isla Fisher? How did he make that happen? The two of them met back in 2012 at a party in Sydney, Australia, and only 2 years after dating, they got engaged in 2004. They were married in a Jewish ceremony in Paris, France on March 15th, 2010. The actress spoke on her religion, saying that before they got married, she actually converted to Judaism. She said, "I will definitely have a Jewish wedding just to be with Sasha. I would do anything, move into any religion to be united into marriage with him. We have a future together and religion comes second to love as far as we are concerned. She completed her conversion in early 2007 after doing 3 years of study. They have been married ever since and now live in both London and Los Angeles with their 3 beautiful children. Who knew? Halfway through our list at number 5 is Drew Barrymore and Tom Green. Many people didn't know that these two were married, or they just forgot because it was very short-lived. Drew was a fan of Green's show at the time and ended up asking him to appear in her movie Charlie's Angels, which she starred in but also produced. The couple began dating and got engaged in July 2000. They got married 1 year later on July 7th, 2001, and the relationship moved very quickly, which is probably why the marriage only lasted 9 months before the two of them announced they were getting a divorce. Tom did an interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2014 and spoke about his short marriage to Drew, saying, "It was just a very short period of time that I had a brief marriage. I don't really tend to talk about it that much comfortably or publicly. All of that was part of that sort of crazy whirlwind of a time. I haven't talked to her in many years. I'm glad she's doing great. I'm really happy that she's doing good." I want more juicy details on that. They were married for a total of 163 days. Like, what happened in that amount of time that you called off your entire marriage? I selfishly want to know. Alright guys, at number 4 we have Daniel Craig and Rachel Weisz. Yet another couple that went right over my head this entire time. They met all the way back in 1994 when they starred in the play together called Les Grands Horizontales. Neither of them were famous at the time, so they actually had a genuine friendship of 2 random people meeting for the first time. More than 10 years later, things heated up between them in 2010 when they starred in the movie Dreamhouse. At that time, Rachel's current marriage was ending, and Daniel had broken up with his fiancée later that year. It was the following year that the two of them quietly tied the knot in New York. I say quietly because they only had 4 people attend their ceremony, and they were Craig's daughter Ella, Rachel's son Henry, and then their 2 friends. Big crowd. In 2018, they welcomed their first child together and still continue to live a more private lifestyle when it comes to their marriage. They've always kept their relationship as private as possible, so there hasn't been too many details about their new daughter. We just have to kind of sit back and watch the rest of their love story unfold. Taking the number 3 spot is Amber Tamblyn and David Cross. Tibby from Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is married to the principal from She's the Man. Not only did this shock me because I had no idea, it also shocked me because there's an obvious age difference between the two of them. 19 years to be exact. The first of them met on a connecting flight from Houston to Louisiana, where he says Amber aggressively stared at him. He makes jokes during an interview with Huffington Post saying, "I was slow to make any moves because of our age difference and also because she was a fan." He is not lying though. Amber admits to being a crazy fan before they got together. The couple got engaged in August 2011 and tied the knot on Saturday, October 6, 2012. They had their first child together back in 2017, a little girl that they named Marlo. The now 36-year-old actress is still madly in love with her 55-year-old husband, despite what other people think about their very random relationship. In spot number 2 is Leighton Meester and Adam Brody. Jesus, take the wheel, you guys. I can't even explain to you how mind blown I was when I found this out. Like, I was seriously shook. Ask Lucy. I follow Leighton on Instagram and thought she was single throughout all of these years. Like, how? Blair Waldorf and Seth Cohen are married and have a kid together? Turns out I've been living under a rock, and the two of them actually started dating back in 2013 and then got married in February 2014 in an intimate ceremony in North Carolina. It was in September 2015 that they welcomed their first child together, a little girl named Arlo. People often joke with them about their TV characters and how they ended up together. Leighton joked with Entertainment Tonight saying, I quote, "Once a year randomly on our Seth and Blair day, it's good to have a laugh. It doesn't excite us, I think, because we're just human beings, but it's exciting to us that it's exciting to you. It's cool." It is very cool, and I was so excited when I found this out. I still can't believe it. Sniping our number 1 spot is Ryan Reynolds and Scarlett Johansson. Because wow, I totally forgot about this. The two actors started publicly dating back in April 2007, and not long after they confirmed their engagement in May of 2008. When they got married on September 27, 2008, Scarlett was only 23 years old and Ryan was 31. They had a quiet ceremony on Vancouver Island with close family and friends. Throughout their marriage, there were often rumors about the couple having issues, and in early 2010, they were actually living separately because of their work. There might have been some truth to the rumors though, because on December 14th, 2010, they announced they decided to separate after only 2 years of marriage. The statement said, I quote, "After long and careful consideration on both our parts, we've decided to end our marriage. We entered our relationship with love and and it's with love and kindness we leave it. While privacy isn't expected, it is certainly appreciated. Brian is actually now married to the mother of his children, Blake Lively, and Scarlett recently got engaged to Colin Jost after 2 years of dating. So happily ever after for all parties, I'd say. Starting off the list at number 10 is Kid Rock and Pamela Anderson. The Baywatch babe and rock star had a marriage that is notable for their now famous wedding, which was a huge yacht party in St. Tropez. Their first engagement was called off in 2003, and 3 years later they got married in July 2006 on a boat. The yacht party was a huge success, but their marriage wasn't. It was very short-lived. Pamela filed for divorce in November 2006, and it was finalized in 2007. Back in 2018, she spoke candidly about their past marriage during an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. She admitted that she never spoke to him again after the split. It was basically the definition of out of sight, out of mind. She doesn't have any bad things to say about him and vice versa. But rumors were going around after Kid Rock made a joke saying that the Borat movie was the cause of their divorce. Pamela Anderson had a cameo in the movie, and apparently Kid Rock wasn't a fan of the movie in general, so when news headlines started saying that Borat was the reason for their divorce, they didn't really care to deny or confirm it. Who cares at this point, right? Like, you might as well just have a good laugh. At number 9 is Kim Kardashian and Damon Thomas. Most people don't know who Damon is or that Kim was ever married to him. He's a music producer who she decided to marry when she was just 19 years old. He is 10 years older than her, so if we do the easy math, he was 29 at the time. She walked down the aisle for the first time ever back in 2000 and admits that she was on ecstasy on her wedding day. On her family reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians, she talks about it with her younger sister Kendall Jenner, saying, "I did ecstasy once and I got married. I did it again, I made a sex tape. Like, everything bad would happen." Well, I mean, don't blame the drugs now, Kim. The two of them were married for 4 years before getting divorced in 2004. Based on their divorce papers, Damon was extremely controlling. Kim revealed that Damon decided what we would do and when we would do it. He was very much the king of the castle. She makes other serious claims that he both physically and mentally abused her as well. Good news is she was able to file for a divorce and continue to move forward. Next up at number 8 is Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose. I didn't even know they were dating, let alone married. The two of them started dating in 2011, and just a year later they announced the news of their engagement and also that a baby was on the way. They welcomed their first child in February 2013, a son named Sebastian. For fans, it seemed like they had a picture-perfect family life going on, but only a year and a half into their life as parents, they announced that they were splitting up. Wiz has since opened up about the marriage and how difficult the split was for him, but he has no bad blood towards his ex-wife. He thinks that it was for the best. Amber agrees and told Us Weekly, I quote, "It's so crazy that we are literally best friends. We hang out all the time." Well, that is refreshing to hear since they are also co-parenting. It is nice that they can still have a happy ending. Sliding into number 7 is Renee Zellweger and Kenny Chesney. Yet another couple that I didn't know was ever even a thing. Is it just me or does this one feel like super random? They first met back in January of 2005 at NBC's Concert of Hope Tsunami Telethon. Renee told Jay Leno that there wasn't any sparks between the two of them that night, but they still exchanged numbers. Sparks must have grown between them because they dated shortly after, and only a few months after dating, they got married. Their wedding was on May 9th, 2005 in the US Virgin Islands, where they invited 45 close friends and family members. Although it was a beautiful wedding, their marriage didn't last long and it came to an end just 4 months later in September. Renee filed for an annulment and cited fraud as the reason. The statement spread like wildfire and everyone was throwing shade at Kenny, but Renee came to his rescue saying, I quote, "Fraud is simply language and not a reflection of Kenny's character." Maybe you should have clarified that from the start. Regardless, there is no disrespect between them and neither of them regret the marriage. In at number 6 is Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis. Some of you might be like, why are they on this list? Do you live under a rock? Well, the answer is yes. Yes, I do, because I had no idea that they were a couple, and in my defense, I also asked Rebecca and she didn't either, and neither did Chris. So, they've been together for 8 years now, and the relationship timeline shows how committed they are to each other. They met each other back in fall 2011 at a Saturday Night Live finale party, and they exchanged phone numbers, and the rest is basically history. They became official in December 2011, and in January 2013, they announced their engagement. Later that year in October, they announced Olivia's first pregnancy with their son Otis. Years later, still not married, in April 2016, they announced her second pregnancy with their daughter Daisy. Which leads us to today in 2019, they are happily parenting their 2 beautiful children and are still not legally married. Rumors are flying that they've secretly tied the knot, but they continue to deny it. They've been engaged for years and are living like a married couple, so they don't feel like they need to rush it or make it a legal thing. I mean, I still consider this marriage, They're living like a married couple, they're committed like a married couple. What do you guys think? Halfway through the list at number 5 is Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. The two of them claim they are a perfect fit and have a 14-year partnership to back that statement up. Jason said he was in love with Lisa ever since he saw her on TV in 1987 when she starred on The Cosby Show. It wasn't until 2005 when they met at a New York jazz club. They were immediately together from the day they met. Lisa described it to Porter magazine saying, "In that moment, love came and it came big, and he did not run as I think a lot of men do." In 2007, they had their first child together, a daughter named Lola, and the following year a son named Nakoa. I think that's how you say it. Fun fact, Lisa was previously married to Lenny Kravitz and they had a daughter together, Zoe Kravitz, so Jason has also played stepdad in her life and loves every second of it. She calls him Papa Bear in all of her Instagram posts with him. It's totally adorable. As for marriage, it wasn't until 12 years later that they officially tied the knot in October 2017. They held a low-key ceremony at their home in California. Apparently it was meant to be a secret, but of course someone leaked it online. Jason told Entertainment Tonight, I quote, "You know what? I've been married to my wife for 12 years. It's just a gathering of our families and celebrating our love." And at the time of this recording in 2019, they are still happily together and looking as adorable as ever. Here we are number 4 with Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Esposito. They were first spotted as a couple in 2006, and after just a few months of looking cozy in pictures, they confirmed their engagement in October. They got hitched in late December, just 2 months after the announcement. It was a fairly low-key wedding, taking place in the south of France where they exchanged vows with some family and friends watching. It looked like they enjoyed their time together, but only 4 months into the marriage, Jennifer filed for divorce, citing it irreconcilable differences. Bradley's rep at the time shared a statement saying, "The divorce was mutual and they've been separated for quite a while. Throughout the years, it seems that Jennifer is the one who has some bad blood towards the actor." She once referred to the relationship as, I quote, "an entire marching band squad of red flags." Yikes. I like that phrase though, so I might use it when I describe some of my own exes. Coming in hot at number 3 is Katy Perry and Russell Brand. You probably knew that they were a couple back in the day, but did you know that they were actually married? Their romance was a whirlwind as they fell in love and got married rather quickly, which might be one of the reasons why it didn't work out. They first met back in 2008 on the set of Get Him to the Greek, but it was in 2009 that they started dating and later announced they were engaged on New Year's Eve. For the record, their engagement came just 4 months after they started dating, so they were moving quickly. They had their wedding in October 2010 at a super secret traditional Hindu ceremony in India. It was at a resort which was across from the tiger sanctuary that he proposed at. The marriage only lasted 14 months and Russell filed for divorce shortly after Christmas in 2011. They both had different reasons as to why they split. Katy told Vogue that he didn't like that she was equal to her and tried to control her. He says he just had a change of heart and his mind frame began to shift, whatever that means. Worst part about the failed marriage was that he ended things through text. Katy told Vogue the story saying, "Let's just say I haven't heard from him since he texted me saying he was divorcing me on December 31st, 2011. Classy. In spot number 2 is Chad Michael Murray and Sophia Bush. I always knew they were that hot couple from the show One Tree Hill, but I had no idea that they actually got married. I was a huge fan of the show, which is where they met and continued to date. The show ran for 9 seasons and they were together by the second one. They weren't together for very long before they got engaged. They got married in April of 2005 when Sofia was just 22 years old and Chad was 23. They were very young. It was a very short-lived marriage as they separated just 5 months later. The divorce was finalized in December 2006. Down the road, just last year in 2018, Sofia talked about their marriage with Andy Cohen and said that she never wanted to get married and felt pressured to do it. She said she didn't want to let anyone down and felt the pressure from other people around them. Chad's rep replied with a pretty sassy statement to people saying, "The story is ludicrous. Chad conducts himself in a completely professional manner and would never marry for any reason but love. 13 years since his divorce with Sofia, he has a very happy life with his wife and children. He has completely moved on and doesn't feel the need to engage in this type of behavior." Boom. He shut that down. Taking our number 1 spot is R. Kelly and Aaliyah. This story is crazy. Kelly met her when she was just 12 years old as he produced some of her music for her. He was actually 24 years old at the time. They soon began dating despite the huge age gap and even got married 3 years later. Yes, if you're doing the math in your head, that would make Aaliyah 15 years old and Kelly 27. It was a huge scandal because after their secret wedding, the press uncovered a marriage certificate that showed her age was forged to 18 years old, Obviously, she wouldn't be allowed to get married at 15 years old, so it had to have been forged. But Kelly immediately denied the reports and said that he never knew she was 15 and that when he married her, he thought she was 18. Aaliyah tragically died in a plane crash when she was 22, but their story is still being talked about today, now in a courtroom.
In at number 10, Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez. It seems that after a lot of headache, Ariana has finally found her partner in Dalton Gomez. The pair announced that they got married in secret last weekend. The ceremony was very small with only 20 people attending. One of Ariana's reps told People, quote, "The room was so happy and full of love. The couple and both families couldn't be happier. The couple first went public in February of 2020 and quarantined together. Their engagement was announced in December of 2020 when Ariana posted a photo of the engagement ring, which is a diamond with a pearl on a thin gold band. And if you're wondering how they met, apparently Ariana was looking for a home outside of LA to be her getaway house, and her team found Dalton to help because Dalton is a luxury real estate agent. The insider added, quote, "When she saw him, she immediately thought he was cute and very good looking, and she asked her team to set up an in-person meeting with him. And wow, look at them now." Honestly, I love when celebrities get together with non-famous people. I think the marriage is much more likely to last that way, in my opinion. In at number 9, Justin Hartley and Sofia Pernas. This one is crazy. If you guys watch Selling Sunset, you know Justin Hartley abruptly divorced Chrishell Stause, and it seems that he has officially moved on with his former The Young and the Restless co-star Sofia Pernas. The two have been linked together since June of 2020 and made their red carpet debut recently at the MTV Movie and TV Awards, where they were both wearing small and simple wedding bands. After this, many speculated this was proof that they were either married or engaged. After the speculation, the couple announced they are married, and a source told People that they got married recently, but didn't give a date. In at number 8, Jeannie Mai and Jeezy. I just had to include this one because I'm a huge fan of Jeannie Mai and The Real. After being engaged for about a year, the couple got married on March 27th in Atlanta. Mai told Vogue about the union, quote, "After Jeezy's mother unexpectedly passed, we quickly learned that life is too short. And at the end of the day, Jeezy and I just really wanted to become husband and wife. So we decided to turn our original wedding into a mini-moni, where we exchanged our vows in front of our immediate family and a few close friends." I'm just so excited for the happy couple, and I'm honestly ecstatic that Jeannie was able to find love again after her nasty split with her ex-husband Freddie. If you watch The Real, then you definitely know what I'm talking about. And at number 7, Aubrey Plaza and Jeff Baena. Aubrey Plaza is a married woman and tied the knot with her longtime boyfriend, Jeff Baena. She actually let the news slip on an Instagram post, not sure if that was on purpose or not. But before the news broke, Plaza wrote in May on Instagram, quote, "So proud of my darling husband, Jeff Baena, for dreaming up another film that takes us to Italia to cause some more trouble," alongside a photo of her and Jeff. After the post raised a lot of eyebrows, the rep confirmed to People that they are married. It seems that quarantine might be the reason for the marriage. When speaking about quarantine, she said, quote, "On a personal level, relationship level, it was kind of nice to just be forced to be in one place for that long. Could have gone either way, I guess." And at number 6, Kristen Wiig and Abby Rothman. Kristen Wiig revealed on an episode of Howard Stern's Sirius XM radio show that she secretly married her partner Abby Rothman in 2021. The two welcomed twins via surrogate together last year. When speaking about the secret wedding, quote, "Besides the fact that we are where we are, it's hard not to feel so much of the struggle that's going on. In my home, I'm very lucky about having these 2 babies and my husband, and they make it all better, and it's changed my life." She also referred to Rothman as her husband during an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. She hasn't disclosed the details of the wedding, but I'm just glad she has a happy family. Halfway at number 5, Erin Lim and Joshua Rhodes. I also had to include my queen Erin Lim in this list because I absolutely love her and the work she does with E! She got married to her fiance Joshua Rhodes in January, but didn't announce it till after the big day. 2 months after the wedding, she posted the photo of her wedding day online with the caption, quote, "Oh yeah, so like..." The Rundown host told E! News that the intimate wedding was a family affair, saying that because of COVID, they wanted to have an intimate ceremony with just their families, adding, quote, "We decided to get married in my parents' backyard. Joshua's dad actually married us, so it was really, really special." And at number 4, Riz Ahmed and Fatima Farheen Mears. Oscar-nominated actor Riz Ahmed revealed on an episode of the Grounded podcast that he is a married man. After Ahmed was asked how long they had been married, he said, quote, "Not very long. Actually, it's the first time I've ever mentioned it in an interview. So congratulations on this incredibly exciting scoop." He spoke about it later on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, where he said him and his wife had an intimate ceremony. And at number 3, Raven Gates and Adam Gottschalk. Bachelor in Paradise couple Raven Gates and Adam Gottschalk have officially married. They got married in Dallas, Texas in April of 2021 after their wedding had been postponed 3 times because of the pandemic. There were about 20 family members at the ceremony and COVID protocols were put in place. They announced their engagement in June of 2019, 2 years after they started dating during Bachelor in Paradise season 4. Gates was on Nick Viall's season, while Gottschalk appeared on Rachel Lindsay's season. After not winning those seasons, they were both brought together during Bachelor in Paradise. And now they can finally live their happily ever after. Side note, I saw these two when I was watching Bachelor in Paradise, and if I'm gonna be really honest with you, I didn't think that they would last, but I'm really happy that they're married. And at number 2, Elizabeth Lail and Niku Manshandi. Elizabeth Lail from the hit show You tied the knot with her pediatric dentist Niku Manshandi in an intimate ceremony in Stone Ridge, New York. The wedding took place on April 24th and was featured in Brides magazine. With COVID safety in mind, the wedding party were the only people that stayed at the location, and there were 22 people in attendance. With her adding, quote, "I think we could have easily invited 200 people had it been another time." But instead they decided to just keep things safe and have a small ceremony. Congrats to the happy couple. And finally, at number 1, Nicolas Cage and Rico Shibata. Nicolas Cage is a married man once again. The couple confirmed the union on March 6th when they explained they got married at the Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas on February 16th. This is Cage's 5th wedding. Cage said in a statement to People, quote, "It's true and we are very happy." During the ceremony, Cage wore Tom Ford and Shibata wore a handmade Japanese bridal kimono from Kyoto. A rep for the couple continued, quote, "After the wedding, the happy couple was joined for a small celebration attended by Nicholas' ex-wife, Alice, and their son, Cal." And that's honestly really nice that he has that kind of relationship with his ex.